Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I've had this one for a bit. I didn't want to rush and make a video, but I also don't really need 20 minutes to cover it. So here's a quick take that took a while to get to. But before we get into that, don't forget to check this great discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Alright, enough talk. Let's get right into it.
To get things started, let's hear from our first reviewer.
This reviewer found this all-in-one printer was pretty easy to set up, opting to ignore the smartphone instructions in favor of a direct USB cable connection. Filling the ink tanks was the first step, and proved to be simple and surprisingly clean, with the provided bottles being essentially spill-proof. The first minor hiccup came when installing the print heads. The tiny diagram in the guide wasn't very helpful, but our reviewer found that after a moment of examination, it was intuitive enough to snap them into place. Another small issue arose with the very first print job from a photo application, which initially failed due to what seemed like a software conflict. However, this was easily fixed by disabling a single setting in the computer's print dialog, and there have been no problems since. This client suspects it might have been a Windows issue rather than a problem with the device itself. Once it was running, the performance was a highlight. This printer is fairly zippy, has a small physical footprint that's great for a crowded desk, and handles two-sided printing perfectly. Color prints on plain paper look very nice, and the automatic sleep mode is a fantastic convenience, allowing the machine to be left on and ready to wake instantly for the next job. Despite these positives, there were a few small grumbles. The control panel buttons are difficult to see and not well marked, and the copying function is a bit pokey. This review is based solely on a USB setup, so Wi-Fi, scanning, and photo quality printing on special paper were not tested. However, even with these minor complaints, the overall experience was excellent.
Let's begin by examining the insights provided by our first reviewer.
This reviewer was driven to purchase this printer out of sheer frustration with their old color laser model. The astronomical cost of replacement toner cartridges and persistent streaking, even on black and white documents, became untenable, culminating in a ruined school project for their daughter. Our reviewer wanted a solution where they wouldn't have to mentally calculate the cost of every page printed. After considering other ink tank systems and being wary of a different brand due to a past issue with clogged heads, this client settled on this particular device. The choice was influenced by familiarity with the manufacturer, its reputation for providing easily accessible software, and the inclusion of an automatic document feeder. The setup process was surprisingly smooth, especially as they opted for a manual installation to avoid mandatory account registration, finding the instructions clear and helpful. Once connected to a wired network, the software located the printer without a hitch. First impressions of the performance are positive. The system for refilling the ink tanks is exceptionally well designed, proving to be clean, simple, and spill-proof. While the print quality isn't quite as razor-sharp as the laser printer it replaced, that was an expected trade-off, and the results are perfectly good. For those seeking truly vibrant color photos, this user suggests investing in higher quality, brighter paper designed for inkjet printing. However, there are a few drawbacks to note. The administrative pin is inconveniently located under the scanner lid, prompting our reviewer to create a label for easier access. The paper tray also feels a bit flimsy and lacks a substantial rear guide to keep the paper stack secure. Finally, anyone who frequently scans double-sided documents should be aware that the feeder requires a manual process. You scan one side, then have to flip the stack and scan the other, a step down from single-pass scan.
Awesome! Let's hear what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer works in a small business environment juggling HR, office management, and payables, so constantly running to the central office printer, especially for sensitive documents, became a real problem. They decided to purchase this printer for their desk, and so far the experience has been overwhelmingly positive. After researching many different options, they feel confident in their choice. While it's only been a short time, so long-term reliability is unknown, the initial performance is fantastic. One of the best features is the automatic document feeder, ADF, which flawlessly handles the frequent multi-page scanning needs. The scanning glass also produces high-quality scans, and the ability to combine multiple scans into a single PDF is a real time saver. The cartridge-free ink system is a huge plus. Given the volume of printing, it will save a considerable amount of money compared to traditional cartridges. The built-in copier works well, offering both color and black and white copying from either the glass or the ADF, all controlled directly from the device. Printing speed is surprisingly fast for a desktop printer, and the print quality is excellent. There were a couple of minor hiccups. Initially, connecting this printer to the Wi-Fi network proved difficult, so a USB cable was used instead for a direct connection, which is also more secure. Also, the default ink saturation was a bit too high, causing smearing when highlighting. However, switching to the Save Ink Toner setting in the print preferences resolved the issue completely. One final thing to note is that scanning requires using the HP Smart app on a computer or device. It cannot be initiated directly from the printer itself. While some might find this inconvenient, the app has worked well and hasn't been a problem for this client.
And that's it. If this video helped, hit like and subscribe for more. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching.